Alright, so since some people were asking on an update on my Sterling, I decided I would make one, even though not much has really happened. But I'll go over a few things I have. So first off, you may be wondering why I'm looking at a little disconnect switch. Well, technically this is classified as a manual motor starter last I checked, but it's being used as a switch here. So basically, this I got it in the state sale for $2. It was brand new, and I mean, these go for like $300. So I figured, why not wire up some thick wire to it and make a little controller for the Siren. This probably won't be used just for the M, but it's being used for it right now. So I thought I would throw that in. So yeah, follow the wire, and then I'll show you the actual Siren, which here it is. The only really big things that have happened since the last video are that this Siren, everybody keeps saying that I'm running it on half power and whatnot. There's one video of it being ran on half power, yes, but the rest are on full power. And I will classify this motor. Here's the tag. It's really shot, but it kind of shows you. So you see right there, 230 volt. This motor has 4 lead wires, and if you wire them in series, that is high voltage, or in other words, 240 volt stuff. If you look down here, there's one that is really scratched up, but it should say volts 115, and that you wire them in parallel. So if you don't know what that means, there's big coil right here, big coil right here. What you do is, if you wire them in series, you're joining them together in the middle, and you're just running all the current through it. But if you're wiring them in parallel, you are wiring them both receiving the same amount of current and not wired together, just straight current going into each winding. So that means there's less resistance, and that basically makes it run on 115 volt. And that is made that way. I don't have the cover off on the junction box here, but it has 4 lead wires, and like I said, you wire them in series or you wire them in parallel. And I have them wired in parallel now because that runs it on 120 volt. And kind of over here, I got rid of the old conduit clamp, and I put this one down, which is not weatherproof by any means, but this Siren is not going to be used as an outdoor warning siren again. Well, if it is, it's going to be more of a, not necessarily a novelty item, but just a, like an item that's not going to be on a pole or anything. I'm going to put it on a cart that's custom built for it. So, yeah. And I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do about the projector and the intake cones yet, but I will need to figure that out eventually. So, yeah, and also, this motor is what's called a repulsion motor, and instead of having the brushes hooked up to power, you have them wired together, and that directs the motor how fast to go and what direction. So, I'm not going to go into great detail about that, but if you bring your brushes this way more, it speeds it up, and if you bring them this way, it'll just make the motor stop if you have it straight up. And then if you move it the opposite way, it'll make the motor spin the opposite direction. So, kind of cool. I didn't know that this motor was a repulsion motor at first, but it is. So, yeah. Now, of course, I'll give a little demonstration of the Siren. I'm not going to run it up to full power, but I'll give it a good growl. So, here we go. 3, 2, 1. I may notice that kind of scraping noise. That's just the brushes. They haven't really set into the commutator yet because I completely cleaned up the commutator. So they aren't set in at the moment, but they're getting there. And yeah, so once that's done, the motor should sound pretty much silent. And that about wraps it up. So hope you enjoyed, and bye.